must deliver the packages to the families on your list. You can no longer put them in, they will no longer deliver them for you. So don't anticipate bringing them down to the bus room. Find somebody in the district that would like to make the delivery and plan to do that when you want to deliver these. You can deliver them at any time you're, I think, finished with them. There's no date to start or stop. There is going to be a town hall meeting Monday, November 10th, this coming Monday at 3 p.m. That Monday at 3 p.m. in the ballroom, and this is regarding the request for proposal process for a new management company partner. The board wants to hear your input and questions prior to making a final decision in their executive session of Wednesday, November 12th, when they will make a final decision. I am told they can't hear this on Channel 97. I don't know how we know this sitting up here. Who's on TV? Oh, okay. If there's anything you can do with that, Hernan, thank you. They'll see if we can pick up the volume on Channel 97. You know, in life, you sometimes meet a person whose optimism and confidence and exuberance are infectious. Those people radiate positivity. They draw others to them in the same sphere. They meet every situation with cheerfulness and positivity and seem to be able to turn an impending disaster into a win for everyone involved. Next week, we lose one of those bright stars among us when Jason Ewalls leaves to become the next phase of his life. I'm sure Jason has bad days, we all do, but I have never seen him without a smile, without time to help on any issue, without kindness flowing from him. Jason has a heart as big as he is, and that's saying something. Jason, you will be sorely missed. Your presence enriches us all, and we are all poor in your departure. Nevertheless, everyone holds the very best wishes for you in your new endeavor. But if it shouldn't work out, we're still here. Please join everyone in a celebration of Jason next Wednesday, the 12th at 2 p.m. in the ballroom. I hope the ballroom's big enough. It's 2 o'clock on Wednesday, the 12th. Okay, and lastly here from the chair report, I'm going to talk a bit about the role of the DDA and HOA governance. During the build-out of Sun Lakes, the DDA had a much more active role in the decisional processes of the community than it does now. There are many things involved in changing of lot lines and other restrictions that had mostly to do with how the community was built, how it was developed. We've evolved into a group that still has responsibility to record the elections results, but mostly supports community activities within and outside of Sun Lakes. The DDA has no budget, income, or community decisional authority, save one. This body was designed to be a check on board activities. Enough turmoil currently brews within the community that the DDA began discussing a process for recalling board members at our regular monthly workshop in October. The DDA holds the power to begin a recall election for any or all directors of the master board. Today we consider motions on community governance, requesting the board to consider their direction in lieu of beginning a recall. We do not take these steps lightly. None are based in animosity or directed as personal attacks. We are simply fulfilling the responsibility entrusted to us in our foundational documents. Delegates requested another special workshop held last Tuesday, the 4th, to further discuss the matters of consequence and vote their conscience on these motions. We collectively hope that during their executive session on November 12th, the Master Board will carefully, very carefully, consider the message in these motions. We have no power to force the board to take any action, but very much do not wish to contemplate the alternatives. That's it for the chair report. Okay, and now we're going to move to standing speakers. This is item 5 on the agenda, and the first standing speaker, who might be seated, is going to be not Candace Jenkins, but I believe Janice Rice.
Hello. Yes. Hi, Janice Rice, representing EPAP. Yes, I'm sitting down. My knee isn't happy with me today. I wanted to share with you guys the results of our yearly drill that we have here in Sun Lakes, the shakeout drill. The participation that we received, okay, by participating, this means that the residents put their yellow cards in their windows that could be seen and counted by either the zone captains or EPAP coordinators, and in some instances it was our delegates or alternate delegates. So there were quite a few people that took place in this count. It happened on October 16 at 10:16 a.m. So all we actually really asked our residents to do was put that yellow card in the window. Now we do know that there were a few little glitches that we're going to work on as the EPAP team. That number one is not everybody has a front window. We've discovered that. And number two, some of the windows are tinted and you can't see the yellow card. So these are things that we're going to work on. I also want to announce that Candace and I will, and the EPAP team, will be working in January to get out information on our yellow cards and also the file of life cards, because a lot of people were saying they don't have those as well. So we'll get that information out to you and go from there. Here's a quick run of what we did for the results. District 1, 40%. Nothing from District 2, District 3, 67%, District 4, 73%, District 5, 69%. Really, David, I thought better. I had to do that, Tim. District 6, 31. We skip all the way down to District 13, which is mine. We only did 34%, so I can't say too much. District 14, 63. District 15, 67. District 16, 71%. District 17, 50%. District 18, 80%. Let's give a woo-woo for them. Woo-hoo. And then District 19, 43, District 20, 70, District 21, 75, 22, 48, and 23, 41. So overall, 58% of the residents did take part in the shakeout drill by putting their cards in the windows, the ones we could count. And so that is better than last year. I believe last year was 47%. So thank you to everybody that participated, and we will work on this. It is important. That's it. Anybody have a question on that at all? Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Next is Javier Sarmiento from CCL, and he's making his way to the dais now.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. I know you were supposed to get Rachel, but she has much better looking hair than I do, so, but you'll get me today. First of all, let me start out by letting you know about the November newsletter that went out, or is going to be going out to the delegate. There is actually a correction that needs to be made. On the bottom of the correction, it just says December, we're going to be offering a Christmas Day buffet. Actually, it's a Christmas Eve buffet. So I apologize for that mistake, but we will be offering a Christmas Eve brunch, just as we will for Thanksgiving. So the same process as that. We will be actually dark on Christmas Day. An update as far as the mobile ordering. If you have not had a chance, we will be actually having our mobile ordering going live on November 12th. So just be on the lookout for that information, just to ensure that you have access to that app, and then you'll be able to kind of make those orders through that process. So that will be a plus for those individuals that would like to have food. Just come and pick it up and so forth, and we'll give you all the details on that app as well. And then we have a couple other things on the Veterans Day, November 11th. Don't forget, if you're a veteran, please do come to any of the outlets. You will receive 20% off food. So that's one of the benefits on Veterans Day that we'll be offering. And then also, if you have not booked your event yet, which I think most of you have, as far as Christmas, we do have the Christmas Day, holiday menu buffet option, as well as the plated option. So for you to take a look at those and take advantage of that. And last but not least, the actual Thanksgiving to go option. So we do have, obviously, we start selling them already, and it's doing really well. So if you don't want to cook that day, please take advantage of that and have that picked up. And you have the options to either pick up at 1 p.m. all the way up to 3:30 p.m. Okay, and as well as the Thanksgiving holiday brunch that is available with seatings from 11 a.m. as well as 1 p.m. And that's it.
Any questions? Mike?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I got boom.
My question is, since we've gone away from the 18%,
Correct.
how if you're tabulating or recording it or whatever, how is that going as far as tips for the people?
So thank you for bringing that up. I mean, it's still a challenge. I can tell you that there's still a lot of members that unfortunately are not in the, cultural tip-in for some reason or other. We have had quite a bit of individuals that have had over $100 tabs and, have left $2, $3 on a check. So that's the part that's unfortunate. So, thank you for reminding me that. If just don't forget that usually, obviously, the 18% is no longer included in any of the checks unless your group is 8 or more. So if you can take care of the staff, that would be great. Really appreciate that.
Ann?
Good afternoon.
How you doing, Miss?
Number one, I had my flyer in at the printer, and I picked it up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I have no CCL flyer attached at all to my newsletter.
Oh, okay.
So that happened last month as well. I don't know what time frame you have to get it in.
Yeah, we have to have a deadline to the printer to send it to them, as well as I send it to Mr. Kyle as well. And so I can get you a copy of that, but I apologize for not, but it usually goes out to the printer and we will send it all out.
Okay, second part to my question on the tipping. I know that a lot of us prefer to do cash tips to the waiters, servers. And how do you want us, I mean, if you put a 0 in the box, it shows that we're not tipping. So that tabulation would be off if they give them a cash tip. Do you want us to write cash?
That would be great. I mean, and honestly, it's not for me to track, to be honest with you. I mean, the feedback that I'm giving you is feedback straight from the servers as far as like what they're receiving. So in the same pattern as you would have for a banquet event, remember that we no longer have that in the banquet charges. So same process. If you can put cash, that'd be great. I mean, again, just, as long as they're taking care of the staff, that's all. And it's not reported to us because we don't track that, to be honest with you, because obviously we don't track those tips. It's just for the actual individual server.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Charlie?
Yes, I just picked up our newsletters for District 23, and there's no flyer for the restaurant in this one either.
Yeah, so that she was just mentioning that. I can get you a copy of that.
How are we going to correct that?
Say that again?
How are you going to correct that?
We're going to be sending it to the printers to ensure that we have that on time. And there's a deadline for us to be able to send it to them, and it was sent on time. I'm not sure why you didn't receive it.
One other comment. On Tuesday, you were going to sell tickets to the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
There was 30 people over in the lobby waiting for someone to sell them tickets, and your staff knew nothing about this.
Well, again, the tickets were supposed to be starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, and unfortunately we had a hiccup on the timeliness of that, and so I started at 10:30, and all the residents that were there, the members that were there, were taken care of by 10:30.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just going to make a comment. When you send out your newsletters before this meeting, you may not get some of that information there. I'm not quite sure why we're doing newsletters before this particular meeting. There's a lot of really good information that comes out at this meeting that should go into your newsletters for your people. So if you're sending them out beforehand, you may not get it. That's just my 2 cents worth, so.
All right. Anybody else?
Anything else for Javier? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and next, Michelle Walter to talk about community awareness and perhaps welcome home.
Good afternoon, delegates. Michelle Walter, welcome home, and also community awareness. I have to tell you, we had an emotional presentation on Tuesday for community awareness. It was from One Legacy. One Legacy saves and heals lives through organ, eye, and tissue donations, comforts the families that they serve, and inspires our communities to donate life. I'm not gonna cry. Randy. Randy gave his emotional journey about receiving a liver and a kidney transplant. Sorry, I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but it was really emotional to hear everybody's stories, and with Randy being so close to us, it was heartwarming. Thank you, Randy. Okay, let me compose myself. We're going to be dark in December. Sorry.
She just wants me to finish reading it for her. Again, the One Legacy was here. Barbara Dakota, who's a resident here, is also an ambassador for One Legacy. And then somebody from the One Legacy foundation, or not foundation, organization, their organ procurement organization showed up. So I just wanted to add that. And then we're going to be dark in December for community awareness. January 6th is going to be the Make-A-Wish Foundation and other volunteer programs. Last welcome home of the year. Now we'll move on to welcome home. Our last welcome home of the year was October 16th. We had 59 new homeowners and 8 clubs attend. Had a great turnout. The homeowners all gave their stories on why they moved to Sun Lakes. Very interesting stories. We introduced Joe Ganino as our president and Bob Walter as vice president of the HOA, and they gave a quick summary of the HOA and all the amenities we offer. The marketing committee has voted to have just 2 welcome home events in 2026. The first will be in January, the second one in July. Respectfully, Michelle Walter.
Janice has a question. Michelle?
I think I'm okay now.
It's not a question.
Okay.
It's a comment. If you weren't here, watch it on Channel 97. What I found out through their presentation, things I did not know about what they could take from you and use. And it makes sense, you know, people always think, oh, my organs and things like that. It was amazing. And Barbara, who did the presentation, I'm up here teary-eyed right now, thank you very much. She has the picture, it's the, what you call it, it's a flower from
Florograph.
Florograph from the 2016 Rose Parade float of her daughter, who she lost and had given so many things from herself to help
76 people, I believe.
76 people. It's really worth it. So watch it on Channel 97. It's very touching. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. I have to tell you, there wasn't a dry eye in the audience.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll move to the 6th item on the agenda. That would be an update from the Recreation Department, and I believe Linda Vang is going to take us there.
Good afternoon, everyone. Linda Vang, Recreation Manager. I'm going to be reporting some of the updates on upcoming events. Tomorrow and Saturday, it's our annual Fall Craft Fair. It'll be held in this ballroom, including the bus room, the veranda, and the main multi-purpose room. We have about 70 vendors that will be here tomorrow on site. So come on out and join us and get your holiday shopping get started. So again, it's from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. both days. Next will be November 14th. That's comedy night with comedy entertainment. We still have tickets on sale, $15 each. The door opens at 5 p.m. and the show starts at 6 p.m. Seating is assigned as you purchase the tickets. November 15th, that's our Veterans Walk. We are still accepting applications. It is $25 per person. With this purchase, you get a ticket for a continental breakfast along with a t-shirt. And we will meet outside in the main clubhouse parking lot, roughly about 9 a.m. Opening ceremony starts at 9:30. And then roughly about 10:15 to 10:30, we'll come back in the ballroom and we'll start off with the continental breakfast, and then you guys will have a chance to listen to the veteran speaks. All proceeds will be donated to, proceeds will go to the VFW Post 233. Sorry, it's a lot. Also, we are gonna have a holiday home decorating contest. This year, we are gonna do something a little bit different. We would like to include the sub-associations as well. So there will be two categories when you signed up. You could register a regular house or a condo. There will be prizes for first, second, and third place winner for the house, and then one overall winner for the sub-association. So sign up starts November 10th. Deadline is December 4th. Judging will take place on December 6th through the 10th at 6:30 p.m. We will announce the winners during the holiday golf cart parade, which is going to take place on December 12th, starting at 5 p.m. Okay, and then next, tree lighting. Thank you, Cal, for covering that.
You can go over it again.
In front of you is a flyer with all the information when you could pick up the trees, first day when you could put it up. I would ask if you guys just have the tree ready before 5 p.m. on December 1st, as we will lit up the tree all at once at 5 p.m. After that, everyone's going to come in the ballroom. We will have special holiday performances along with hot cider, hot chocolate, and cookies. All right, down to the golf cart parade. That's December 12th. It'll be 5 p.m. You may sign up starting November 10th. The deadline is December 5th. We will meet outside here by 5 p.m. and then we'll announce the winner of the holiday decorating contest for the homes. And then New Year's Eve, we met with Javier yesterday. We're still finalizing everything, but we will have application with details in regards to menu, when the lottery is, and yes, we will be celebrating with Delaney and James, and that will be available starting December 1st. Holiday Wish program, they're gone for the day already, but then again, I believe each and every one of you has a card already, so if you have any questions, just give Deborah at Washington a call. The date that we have reserved for the bus room that you could drop off your gifts if you're unable to drop it off to the family is December 10th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Any questions?
Linda, I know Cal said earlier that they were not going to deliver anymore, that each district had to deliver it themselves. Is that?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we will double check on that. And if anything changes from what Cal said, we will make sure we inform all the delegates. But
Okay.
As of right now, we'll go with that each district will have to deliver their own. Perfect.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
All
Thank you,
righty.
Linda.
And then you guys may come see me after the meeting or just shoot me an email, give me a call if your district is going to need a new tree for this year before the 1st. Did you guys want me to go around for the tree location right now or after?
Yeah, now's good.
Do it now? Okay. Any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
First. Carly from District 14. First of all, regarding the Christmas trees.
Okay.
Has the electrical boxes been checked? Because my tree, for instance, didn't light up at all last year.
Not last year. I will work with Marshall and his team and then have them check those out, make sure that it's good
They
to
were.
go.
So yes, we were well aware that all the GFIs were bad going down up and down that country club here. So they were checked and changed out, and they will be checked again prior just to make sure that they are good to go.
Perfect, thank you. And then my second question is, do you have a price for New Year's Eve?
Not yet. December 1st. It will be available
Thank you.
on the flyer.
Thank you.
Yes.
Barbara?
When are the T-shirts going to be passed out for the Veterans Program?
So there was a delay with processing. The T-shirts will be here on the 10th. We will reach out to all the people that had signed up, and then you actually could just come to the recreation office and pick up your T-shirt from there. Okay, then I will be going around.
If you're ready for the board announcements, which there are a lot, we could maybe go over those while they're doing this, if it's up to you.
Well, unless you have the Jeopardy theme on your phone and we could play it. Well, no, okay, yes, go ahead.
Okay, Joe is not here today, so you're stuck with me, and bear with me, we have a lot of announcements. The board continues working on the following projects. RFP for HOA management, a town hall is scheduled for next Monday, and final interviews will be completed this month. Clock update, bricks arriving mid-November, clock is arriving the first week in December, and everything is on schedule for the December 17th ribbon cutting. 2026 budget has been completed. Gate security plan, we're reviewing bids for service this month. Lounge acoustics project, it's been completed, at least in the section of the lounge where we have the hanging, what are those called?
Oh, the sprinklers.
Yeah, in the sprinklers. The rest of it, we're still working on the other section, for trying to improve the acoustics. Bingo, a new machine has arrived and new rules are in place. We have a robotic ball picker and mower study going on right now to review and see whether or not it's worth considering. Main clubhouse front doors, they will be arriving and installed this November. That'll be good for the holidays. Keep us warm. Street signs, the replacement of all the signs should be completed this month. Have you noticed throughout the community, all the signs are, and they look good. Pavement management, schedule for this fall is ready to go. Drought tolerant management, continued working on these areas. Golf tee box and sand traps has been approved and scheduling is underway. A new agreement with CCL has been signed as of Friday. That's where we are determined that we will no longer take a loss over the amount that we've agreed to previously. Statue project, a trade with the resident for a life-size bronze golfer has been approved, a location to be determined. Automatic doors for the sand wedge is being reviewed. We're considering doing that because they are heavy and some people, handicapped people, have trouble getting in and out. Ongoing work with a professional company to sell 14 foreclosed homes that we have seconds on. It's now with our legal department and more to come in the future on that. It'd be nice to have get some of our money back from the seconds and also have those homes taken care of by somebody because they look horrible and they hurt the value of our properties and they hurt the look of our community. Temperature issues in the main clubhouse, a study is underway how we can better control and improve on the temperature problem. Gary Burkle has resigned as treasurer, but not from the board. The board continues to work towards a better Sun Lakes each and every month throughout the year, and we wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. One other thing I would like to mention personally, and this is not from the board, but just from myself, is that the survey that we had completed 1,238 respondents completed and turned it back in. And question number 8 on that survey was, do you have any concerns or suggestions? And we did have people write out various concerns, and so what I did is I read them all. It took a long time, and I charted what their concerns were, from the most populous to the to the very least. And if you're interested, I can give you a copy of that, but I'll just briefly run down what some of the concerns were, so you can also let your residents know that we heard, we know, and we're going to be addressing those concerns. Number 1 concern, 94 complaints, 94 written complaints, food and beverage operations, by far the largest one. The second one was do not do the real estate office. That was not a question on there, but at the time, we had a town hall, and there was a lot of concern whether or not we were going to do that, and 36 were said no, they do not want it. Next issue, cars parked in driveways. Driveways of the streets. So that was the third most mentioned issue that needs to be addressed. And I concur with all these. And now that we have documented this, we now have a basis for addressing them. Next, street signs being ignored and speeding, 19. Security, 16. Open golf to 55 and over outside of the community, 11. No dog park, 10. Landscaping and weeds, 10. Vacant homes, 7. There were many other minor issues with 5 and under complaints. And the interesting thing is that at the very bottom of the list, 4 wanted to replace our management company. Only 4, First Service Residential, and 5 wanted to recall the board. But it's just interesting that this is, of the 1,238 that responded, it's good to know, what their concerns were. And, we heard you, we reviewed them, or I reviewed them, and we will be addressing those concerns in the future. Thank you.
Bob, can I trouble you to go back for just a moment and highlight the one about abandoned and derelict homes? Because I think that's really significant, and also the contract for CCL. I want to applaud both of those. They're really great moves.
Thank you. No other questions?
Questions? Anita?
Anita Lawrence, District 18. Bob, I was writing as fast as my little pencil would go, but I couldn't keep up. Is there some way we can get
Everybody has been
synopsis?
given a copy of this message from the board. It has
Okay,
been
so it's
sent
all-
out to every, the only thing that's not on there is that Gary Burkle has resigned, and then my comment about what I did.
The 1,238 comments that came in, are those on the?
No, that's just something that I finished last night.
Okay. Can we get?
I can have a copy of that available for whoever would like it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ann?
Bob, could you explain to me what the statue project is?
Yes, what that is that one of our residents here has a very beautiful, expensive bronze statue of a golfer, and he's going to donate that to the community in exchange. I don't know if that's me or you. He's going to donate that to the community in exchange for golf for 1 year. And I think it's worth much more than the $3,000 that he would credit that he would be receiving. And so we're looking now for a location that's going to really upgrade and look nice, in our golf community.
Where's it going, Bob?
Location to be determined. I think it's going to be out near the putting greens, but I don't know the exact location yet.
Any other questions for the board?
That was my question.
That was your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
B?
B. Mercado, District 15. Since Mr. Burkle has resigned, do we have anyone on the board taking his place?
Good question. We will make that decision on Wednesday when we have our executive meeting. I'll let you know what we have done in the past is that if we don't find someone that volunteers for all that extra work, what we do is we have had community volunteers that are not on the board, but they act as someone that reviews the financials and reports out. And we've done that about 3 or 4 times in the past. Linda is aware of that.
And they will have no voting power.
They're not on the board.
My second question is,
You only get one.
not
No.
this time.
No.
I was quiet last time. Does Mr. Burkle become a member at large? Is he able to stay on the board if he doesn't have a job?
He's on the board. He's just resigning as treasurer. He's still on the board.
So there's no title?
He's a director. At this time, if we'll make that decision on Wednesday when we get together, because this just happened the other day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
Question for the board. When you purchase contracts or sign contracts, does that have to be a unanimous decision by the board? Or is it a quorum? Or does the president have the right to make that decision on his own?
It's a majority vote. The board votes on contracts, and then the majority.
On the CCL amendment, was that a majority vote, or did Mary Jo have any input on that?
I don't know the specifics, but I believe that the entire board voted 100% to go ahead and do this.
Could I ask Mary Jo if she was one of those 100%?
Well, yeah, it happened earlier.
And Mary Jo, were you aware of that?
There was a consensus of the board to go forward with that amendment, yes.
And your vote was a yes?
So, because it was an executive session item, he doesn't have to say, did Mary Jo vote yes, Bob voted no. All they have to announce is that it was approved. And that is done by a majority, 3-2, 4-1, 5-0.
So they don't have to say yes or no?
For an executive session item. That was an executive session action.
Well, that really doesn't represent those residents, does it?
It does, because they are entitled, the board was elected to handle the business of the association, and one of those duties for that is contractual matters.
Thank you.
It was unanimous when it was voted a couple months ago. Yeah, I'm not allowed to tell you that, but it was unanimous vote.
I don't want to.
The other thing I would like to mention is that I'm personally going to miss Jason. He's been such a great asset to the board and the community, and it's just been a pleasure and an honor working with him. The only slight fault I can ever find with him is he's a fan of, I think, the Raiders or Traders, whatever the team that is. But other than that, he's a great guy, and I want to thank him.
Okay. Yeah, before we proceed, Denny, you'll have to hold your comment until.
Wait, I have a question.
You'll have to hold your comment, Denny, until the member comments at the end of the
Agenda
session.
item. Previously, I have been told that you can only comment as a resident and as a member for unrelated to agenda items.
No, I don't believe that's the case. You
Point
have
of
to-
order.
Not at this year.
We'll discuss it.
Okay. Carly?
Yes. Hi, Bob. I have a question. Since Gary resigned as treasurer, and I know that Mary Jo and Sandra has finance background, can't they step into that role as a treasurer?
That decision will be made next Wednesday when the board gets together at the executive session, and then they'll make a selection. And that's what we've always done in the past. It will be discussed and made next Wednesday. That's all I can say. I can't make it now for you. It's a possibility somebody wants to do all that extra work, but we'll have to consult with them and vote on it and decide next Wednesday. Thank you.
there's no more questions to the board, for the board, we will move to announcements from administration. And before you begin, Chris, I'm going to impose upon you for two things. One, I would suspect that the provision that the board does not have to reveal voting in executive session is actually a law, not just a policy, so they do not have to, but I'm not know for sure. And then secondly, you and I spoke earlier about the process should the delegate assembly initiate a recall, and I'd like you to cover that, please, so you're our resident expert in these materials.
Oh, nothing like putting me on the spot. Thank you.
No, nothing at all.
So we got it. Do we have it? Hello, hello. There we go. Okay, I got it. Okay, well, I know it keeps cutting in and out. Do we have me now? I'm calling the Verizon guy. Can you hear me? Here, I'll just use this, Jay. See, even the microphone can't compete with you, Jay. So, Jason, it is, thank you, the delegates, and Cal, thank you for that nice comments to Jason, putting him on the spot. I do appreciate that. And he can be a Raiders fan, and we accept that. Just some quick things. You already heard about the town hall on Monday. That will just be the community and the board only. There will not be staff proctoring the questions or anything. Jason's goodbye is on Wednesday the 12th, 2 to 4, and it's not a black tie event. It's your oh, sorry, Michelle. I know you were getting the dresses and everything ready, but it's just a relaxed. There'll be some popcorn just to say your goodbyes to Jason. Put him on the spot. Roast him if you like. Then that's the appropriate area for the Raiders. Not here. Okay. Also want to announce that there is a volunteer lunch. You're all volunteers. The delegates, the alternates, the board, the sub-association boards, the committees. That volunteer lunch will be Friday, December 12th. And that will be around noon. I'll make sure to get the final, it's either 11:30 or 12 o'clock start date, working with CCL on the menu. But you will be getting notifications from Tammy about that, but go ahead and put it on your calendar. Make sure you're there, December 12th. And finally, I want to announce that one of the initiatives the board talked with management about was keeping the office open during lunch hours. As you might know, or may not know, the admin office would be open from 8 to 12 in the past, closed for lunch, and reopen at 1. And one of the things that members have communicated to the board that they would like to, hey, they just went to the golf course, or they just stopped by the Sandwich for lunch. They went over to ask a question of the admin office. It'd be great if they were open. So we've accomplished that. Starting Monday, this past Monday, the 3rd, we're open 8 to 5. Those are the hours. So you can come in during lunch. Either Chelsea or Connie will be up there at the front. They could answer any of your questions that you may have. If they don't have an answer, they'll make sure to communicate to the person who can give you a call back. But that way you can stop by the office during the lunch hours. We will be open. With that, it is part of the civil code that executive session matters remain. The whole board has to agree to release information regarding actions that are taken executive that is a privilege, in essence, that Civil Code, California Civil Code, Davis-Sterling Act puts that those are privileged information. The board to talk about contracts, personnel matters, legal matters. That is the time and place for that. We don't disclose who voted for what. And as a regular policy, just as a governance policy, that would not be good. Jason and I may disagree with our football teams, but we will go out of that meeting and say we like football and move forward. A decision was made, and it shows that the board is unified in that. They can have disagreements, vote no on something, but they should be unified outside the meeting. And Davis-Sterling's kind of the heart of that is to say that is the opportunity for them to discuss certain matters, and it stays in private. Member discipline items stay in private. You don't go out and say, well, did you know that the neighbor did this and this to their lawn and they this? That is it. You're entitled to some privacy, and the board needs that behind the scenes to have those frank discussions. And so you do get a summary of what happens in executive session at the open session. You remember Jason, and now it will be me that has to read that. But it will, what happened, what were the actions taken? That is complying with, again, California Civil Code. And then lastly, the inquiry that occurred about removal of the board from the delegates, what powers they have, that is laid out in Article 5, Section 5 of the bylaws. One thing to note that in Section 5, there was an item that talked about cumulative voting if certain actions were taken. And based on the 1999 bylaw amendment 1 that was approved, cumulative voting was eliminated throughout all governing documents of Sun Lake. So there's no cumulative voting in a regular election. There's no cumulative voting for removal of a board member. So that has been stricken. And Jason and I confirmed there was a question about did the bylaws get modified and approved. The bylaws never made it to the ballot to be approved as a whole. That just Section 5, it talked about the delegates' duty. Section 8 and 9, where the delegates are required to vote along the extrapolated results of the election. They cannot deviate from that. That was the only change to the governing documents. So this is still an item that if, later on, if the board takes that on to put that on the ballot, they can do. So that is a big change. The delegates, one of the other things also in it, and it talks about, well, the delegates can do that. And in 1986, when the founders and the Pulte or whoever was building the community put that in, that was the law of the land in 1986. Since 1986, though, there have been changes to the Civil Code, changes to the Corporation Code. And so what that does is that means, yes, the delegates can instigate an action by way of a special election to remove one or all the board members, but they have to, again, the only vehicle is to instigate a special election. That would have to happen. The delegates alone cannot unilaterally, the 23 members here, say we are going to vote a board member out. It has to be has to go to the people, and that is laid out in case law of Civil Code. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I just talked to lawyers who advise the association, and that was confirmed that it has to go to a member vote, and then it would follow member election items, and we can go into that more if you want, Cal. But what this is Article 5, Section 5 of the bylaws does allow the district delegates to instigate a removal of one or all board members if they wish, and it has to be voted on. It has to be a majority of the delegates that would be in that resolution, and then that action would have to be taken on by the board and management to then set the times for election, call for candidates, all that good stuff. Is there any further questions on that?
When we spoke earlier, I believe you mentioned that they could not be combined with our general election that happens in April, and also that if there were a special election, it would be kind of a two-part process. Could you cover that?
Yes, sir. So there would be two parts, because in one instance on a removal, if you say you want one, I'm going to put you on the spot, Bob, you want Bob Walter to be removed from the board, under this section as well, the last sentence says, in the event of such a removal, the director's successor shall be elected in the same manner as the removed director. So what has to happen is the delegates vote on it. They say, yes, a special election to remove one or all, and state the names of the board members to be in that action. At the same time then, so a ballot will be created that says, this is, do you approve of the removal of these board members, yes or no? Then there's a second part of the ballot that says, if number one, yes, passes, please select one or however many seats would be available of these people's names that would run. So you'd have to do, in essence, back to your first question, you can't combine the actions of the regular election and this special election, because one deals with the election of candidates or board seats that have come to their term end, while the other action says there is a removal of board members that may still have time left on their their eligibility or their term. Thank you. I lost that word. So it has to be two separate actions, and because we're already involved in the current action of the annual election, this would just follow right next to it, kind of running concurrently, though the special election would probably end sooner than the regular election. But you have two pieces separate, because one deals with one thing of terms expired, who are you going to elect, and one is saying these are the board members and they may have term remaining. You have to then choose what person, yes, do you want them removed, and if yes passes, then you go to part two that says then who would replace them. So imagine that there would be two meet the candidates. There would be, because you would have to then call for candidates, not only for the regular election, but call for candidates for members who may wish to, if this recall were to pass, who may wish to serve those unexpiring terms. There would be two separate ones we'd have to do.
Okay, and one last point. Should this ever be taken, what's the time frame? I know that a number of public notices need to be served with a time frame involved.
Right, so under the Corporations Code, it's 77 something. It's no less than 30 days, no greater than 150 days for this election to occur. So if the delegates say that take this action now, take upon this vote, we then would have to start that, because pretty much after December 6th, we're moving forward with our election process, doing the call for candidates for this special election. So the timing is not less than 30, no more than 150 days from that date of action, which would be, if you vote on it today, would be today's date.
Thank you. Thank you for providing that information. We really appreciate it. And do you have anything else?
That's it. That's enough.
That's enough. Okay, that's enough. Okay, then from that moment, we will move basically to announcements from the district delegates, and we'll go in reverse order. We'll start over there with Charlie.
Yes, District 23, Charlie London. I'd just like to report that we had a successful pizza party last month with District 12, and everybody was happy and ate a lot of pizza, and thank you, Toscanos. Otherwise, our district is cruising along pretty good, having a good time. Thank you.
Mike Volz, District 22. We had a district party where people brought in soups and chilies, and we didn't have an outside vendor, so we had a good time. Good turnout. Got to thank Jana, our social director, for that, along with Kim, our treasurer, and all those that helped, including Bill and his wife. So that was a good time. We're looking forward to the and the theme of it was our collection for the senior center. So we collected cans, which I think was four SUVs full of cans and stuff. Plus, we donated $750 to the senior center here in Banning. So we felt good about that. I just want to notify we have coming up fairly soon, actually, within a month, to get together. I'll have it in the newsletter regarding our Christmas party with District 21, which was a big success last year, and we really enjoyed it. They put on a heck of a show, and I hope a lot of people from our district comes out and signs up for that. It's a great event. And that's pretty much it. Thank you much.
Good afternoon, Kate Reed, District 20. First thing I'd like to say is thank you and let you know that we have a new EPAP coordinator, and her name is Kathy O'Hara. We're thrilled with that. Also, we have a treasurer. Kathy Phillips will be taking care of that for us. And I'm so grateful those are off my plate. We are having our Christmas party combined with Districts 19 and 6 on December the 10th, and you need to get your checks in to 5096 Breckenridge. I expect to have quite a few people turn out. And it's also District 20's month, along with a couple of others, to fill the cupboard for the senior center. Sounds like District 22 did a great job. We have a new address for you to drop those off. It's going to be 2149 Birdie, some new residents. Dee Dee and Tom Herman have agreed to collect the food for us. So be sure and drop them off there. This will be included in your newsletter when I put it out. And that's all. Thank you.
Marcia mentioned District 19. Jason, this is really a hard day for us because I have worked with you on every committee that I've been on. You've been such an important part of every committee. And your knowledge and your dedication and your understanding of our community, whoever comes in has really, really big shoes to fill. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from even communities, districts, and everything else. Wish you absolutely the very best in your future. But that short drive to work is going to be nice. But we will, 4 minutes, wow. We will really, really miss you, but, you know, come back and see us once in a while. Okay. And then I want to say a special thank you to District 19 for the outstanding response to fill the cupboard. For October, the senior center was very appreciative of all the food that we brought in. I sent out a last-minute appeal because it was not doing well, and all of a sudden we had a lot of food to take to them. So thank you, District 19, for your response.
Anita Lawrence, District 18. I'd like to thank Angie Garrettson, who has volunteered to step up to be the District 18 alternate EPAP coordinator. Thank you very much, Angie. And I want to thank our EPAP coordinator, Greg Garrettson, and all of my zone captains for the successful conduct in participating in the EPAP drill. Let's see what else. My newsletter will be distributed this weekend to the zone captains, and there's lots of important information in there. One of which is that we're having our Christmas party on December 16th. So we tried to keep the price. We did keep the price the same as last year. So I hope a lot of District 18 residents will join us. We're going to have a great time and dinner and dancing here in the main clubhouse ballroom. Sign-up sheets attached. Let's see, what else? Oh, I want to wish a happy birthday to Joe Firmino, who turned 101 years old on November 2nd.
Wow.
And Jason, I'm going to miss you too. I want to wish all of my residents in District 18 a very happy Thanksgiving, as well as all the residents of Sun Lakes.
Tammy Alexander, alternate delegate for District 16. We are still looking for a delegate for District 16. Have not had anybody that wants to step up to that as of now. We are having our Christmas party at the North Clubhouse on December 13th, which will be somewhat low-key. We're going to have an ugly sweater contest, and that's all for right now.
Mr. Ewalls. I'm sorry, B. Mercado, District 15. Your accolades are well-deserved. I've known you less than these people have known you, but you have made such an impression. Sun Lakes would not be what it is without you. Wow. It will not be what it is when you got here. It won't be the same without you either. So do know that we do love you. We think highly of you. You're a professional. And you've been training Linda and Chris quite well. We hope that they learn your lessons. Thank you. And best of everything. Thank you so much from all of us, all the community. moving on to more serious stuff, I now address the master board. I am in concurrence with our move to maybe move to a special election based on the fact that I don't believe our board is working in the best interest of the community. I don't think FSR is the problem. I think the problem has been that we have not had better communication with them, maybe better strategy in addressing some of the issues that have been coming up. A new management company at the point where we are currently having issues with our food and beverage CCL contract seems to be having more priority, I feel, because you have dissension from people participating in the lounge, in the restaurant, and in the sandwich. I would hope that the board members would look again as to whether or not this is the time to move towards removing someone who has been with us and willing to work with us, and we know each other, instead of bringing in someone who is going to start anew and maybe have the same result as what we've currently had with CCL. I think we can do better with CCL if we were to sit down and communicate more with them and work better with them if they were open to suggestions and recommendations from the community, which I feel are falling on deaf ears. And it's taken a while for us to get to this point with them. They've had signals and signs since, I'm going to say March, April, May. It's now way too long for them to say, oh, we weren't aware, we don't know how to address this, it's not important. It is. And I think the fact that you're moving forward with another company at the time that this company's remediation, I think you need to readdress your priorities. And I submit that to the rest of the board members who are not here. Thank you.
Carly Beeks, District 14, and I'm on the same train as B. But no, we won't reveal, because we all care about what's happening here in Sun Lakes, and we all moved here for one reason, and that reason is to hopefully make this the last place I have to move from. But anyway, on December 3rd, we will be having our Christmas party, and we also will be having it with Charlie, District 23, and Linda Villero, District 9. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Janice Rice, District 13. I'm not even going to start with Jason because I will cry. 4 years here, and I think he was one of the very first people I ever really got to know, and he has just been such an asset to everything that I've put into this community, for EPAP, my district, everything. So thank you, good luck. You will be missed. Happy trails, buddy. December 7th, District 13 is going to have a fundraiser to gather money. We are a very small district, and so money isn't flowing out our doors right now. So we're trying to get things together. December 27th, I'm joining, District 13 is joining the holiday party with Districts 2, 4, and 5. We are looking forward to it, our small little group that we're going to be bringing. Looking forward to the fun. And I am right there with B and Carly. No time to make a move at this time. We need to really work on what we have here and grow with it. Thank you.
Jason. Ann Holford, District 12. Who's going to answer my emails? If I send out an email, he's always the beginning of the top. Thank you for everything. Very much, very much. You will be missed. I want to thank Charlie, District 23, for having District 12. It was a great night. We really had a lot of fun, even though we had a table that collected a lot of winners on District 12. It was fun. And I also want to thank my helper, Pat Sire, who also helped. Get back to the drill in October. Doug Winnicki, Joy Bailey, and myself were the only people out there to do 168 homes. We tried. We tried. There's no numbers showing on our sheet, but we tried. So I'm looking forward to getting more of the little orange cards from EPAP, because that seems to be a big issue in my district. Coming up for District 12 on the 17th of December, we have our Christmas luncheon this year, and it'll be at the South Clubhouse. So a flyer will be coming out very, very soon on that. I did get my newsletter out yesterday early, unfortunately early, after being, I should probably have waited. But I feel that sometimes information that you have at hand is very important to get out before events pass. Because we do have our Christmas Wish program, and I sent mine out yesterday. So I thank my district for everything that they do for us.
Unless you want to do it, let's do it. Yep.
Good afternoon. This is Jess Ocampo, District 6. I would like to thank the 9 zone captains in my district who participated in the EPAP drill, which was well coordinated by our EPAP information manager as well as our coordinator. Also, Jason, listen, Lakeside 2 board will miss your guidance and assistance. It's too bad you have to raise our condo fee by $25. Let's not make it happen next time. Also, residents of District 6, I urge you to attend our Christmas party with Districts 19 and 20 on December 10th. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hi, Jean Dobson from District 10, Fairway Villas. We had a very fun and I think very successful murder mystery dinner party in October. We had a great article in Lifestyles, thank you, Linda, written by our resident Jim Hazlett, and it was so much fun. I encourage you to consider something like that for your district. It was just really, I was one of the participants, and we just had a really good and a terrific turnout. I think we had over 70 people, which is a lot. We had more than usual from other districts attend this. It was really great. Our Christmas party coming up on the December 16th. We're looking forward to that. On a more serious subject, with the government shutdown and so many people losing SNAP benefits, I want to bring to your attention that there are no districts designated for filling the pantry, filling the cupboard for December. I'm sure there are a lot of people in Banning that are having a hard time. This is the holidays, no SNAP benefits. So if we could, within our own district, we could maybe do a special contribution to the Banning Senior Center, which our residents of Sun Lakes will also benefit from. It wouldn't take a whole lot for you to give, maybe if you haven't done your newsletter yet, or whatever means you have to communicate with your districts. I know it would be very much appreciated. I want to thank my 16 zone captains for everything they do for our district. I couldn't manage it without their assistance, their input, and whatever they contribute to help our district be so successful. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Linda Vieira, District 9. I completely agree with B and anyone else who agrees, who was nodding their heads when she was speaking. I've been involved in the district delegate assembly since 2012, when my husband was a delegate and I was an alternate. And I started writing the newsletters, and I complained then, as I have complained many times, that the communication between the board and residents is so poor, and the fact that our newsletters can't go out before the first of the month, so many people miss any events that happened in the first week. I was ready to send my newsletter out last week, and Lithopath said, well, why don't we wait until the board sends their information? And it took another 2-3 days before that happened, and I think that is awful. As I said, I sent out my newsletters yesterday, and I'm sure that we didn't have the CCL flyer. Our district is having a party with 14 and 23 on December 3rd, and that is going to be so much fun. I'm so looking forward to that with Carly and Charlie.
Carly and Charlie.
Jason, you've been a friend. You've been a friend to so many people, and you've helped so many districts and so many clubs. And I was really delighted being on the Lifestyles Advisory Committee to have your face coming to our meetings. We really enjoyed everything that you said and all the help that you gave us. We're really, really going to miss you and wish you the absolute best in your new position. I know you'll miss us. I am resigning as district delegate as of December. My husband is resigning as alternate delegate also, although he'll remain as treasurer as. Let me speak for myself. Okay. Thankfully, a member of our district, Mimi Stapleton, has agreed to step in. I'm delighted. Her name was presented to Jason and is going to be presented to the board, so I hope that will work out. I want to thank all the residents of District 9 who have supported us over the years. We have wonderful zone captains. And I want to wish happy holidays to everyone. And I'm going to miss it, but I've enjoyed being a part of the governance, and I look forward to watching it or sitting in the audience from now on. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Gail Billick, District 7. First off, in October, we had a roundup social event that was very successful, hamburgers and hot dogs, and just a really great time. And I want to thank the social committee for all of that. I want to thank the zone captains and John Butler as our EPAP coordinator for the work that they did in the October 16th event. I was out there to help out a little bit, but they can handle it without me, so I let them. And I also want to thank John for all of his work on our recycling, because we've done some great recycling through him. The Holiday Wish program, we put out envelopes in our newsletter last month and have collected $660 so far for our program. So thank you, residents, and please continue so we can meet with the family of 4 that we can provide for them. And December 7th will be our Christmas party in the ballroom, and we're looking forward to that. Jason, you've been my lifeline through all of the work that I've done in various committees. I will miss you, and I'm not going to let that lifeline go, so just be ready. Thank you.
Dave Melder, District 5. Just for the record, I don't have to time myself. How about that? Just for the record, I'm just looking at this EPAP drill results here. We came in 6th place out of 23 districts, so that's not that bad. Come on. Looking forward to November. We were pretty quiet here in District 5, but in December 27th, we're looking forward to the holiday party with districts 2, 4, and 13. It's going to be fun. We're going to have Delaney and James right here in the ballroom, and it's always a blast. And that's it. Oh, yeah, Jason, we are going to miss you, brother. God bless you.
Dolores Doherty, District 4. I would like to thank my awesome EPAP coordinator for District 4. She does an amazing job. Carolyn Sawyer, if you're listening, thank you very much. And I have great zone captains as well that are all very helpful. And with the 233 homes, I could not do this by myself. So they do an amazing job, and they bless me with all the things that they do. And Skinny over there at the end of the table, God bless you, honey. I know you're going to do well. You will do well anywhere you go, I can tell. And everybody have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jim Nickel, District 3. First of all, I want to thank Jason, our board, and the residents on our Lakeside 1. You've been the liaison and continuously helping our district out, and not enough words to thank you for all your efforts and your support. So I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you. I have a question about the gift cards while we're on topics. We were supposed to get gift cards for our various events. Has that been sorted out, please?
So that is on the agenda, and I believe your district chairperson has already submitted a request for this year and next year. What changed is that we have to get the gift cards now through CCL rather than what we were able to do in the past. So that is on the agenda for the November 19th open session. That will be on there for 2025 gift cards and for 2026.
Thank you. And while I have you, Chris, I brought up about the paving. We haven't got a start date yet.
Haven't got to start, but they are saying they're committed to getting done this year. So
It will be done.
That's, yes. So
'Cause I know
just
we're doing the three
sub-associations.
condo
Yes,
districts,
yes.
Very
So
good.
keep praying for the warm weather.
Will you send me an email?
I'm going to let I'll let Cal do it. I'll send it to Cal, and everyone will know that.
And I'll get it. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Also, I want to reach out to my social committee. On October 31st, Halloween, my group delivered candies to all of our residents, little packets. We also did the office here, the admin, the bar, the restaurant. So I want to reach out to all our people and thank them for distributing those. So it was a nice event. We're having a Christmas dinner December 16th, so my residents don't know this as yet. We just decided the other day. Everyone will get a gift, and we're going to have a snowman this year instead of a Santa Claus. So we'll hand out a gift to every resident. And we're able to do that because we've had a great year with our recycling program. So again, I'll reach out to everybody and thank them on that. And the other issue I brought up the last meeting about the food and beverage operation. And in the past July and August, we do have a copy of the expenses and revenue from the restaurant. And just to give, I tabulated it, and just to let folks know, in July we had revenue of $119,000, but our expenses were $273,000. I'm from the food and beverage business. This is totally not acceptable. We had a loss that month of $154,352. When I go to August, the revenue was $139,999, and this is bar and restaurant. Expenses were $301,000, and we had a loss of $161,156. The budget loss was $63,000. That's quite a difference. And for the year to date, for 8 months, our losses are at $787,179. So we have some work to do here in the future. I have a lot of residents. I have other residents here that understand the food and beverage and are concerned about these losses. And so hopefully we can tackle this in the new year. And I wish everybody a good Thanksgiving, and thank you for the time.
Is it working? Oh. Barbara Elmas, District 1. I am down 2 zone captains now, so if anybody is listening from my district, we still need someone for Pebble Beach, and we need one for Inverness Drive now. We also are happy to announce that we have a new recycling program person, and we're very thankful for that. I do have a comment that I wanted to make about the Christmas trees. These are 7-foot trees. We have a lot of older and shorter people that are trying to decorate these trees in the middle of a busy road on uneven ground that is very soft, so you can't put a step ladder on there or you'll fall. I was wondering if maybe we could consider getting 5-foot trees so that people could actually decorate them safely. And also, my congratulations to Jason for your new position, and I will greatly, greatly miss you. Thanks.
Linda Spalding, District 17. Jason, I have watched you grow since you joined Sun Lakes in the rec department, and you are an amazing, amazing man. And I wish you and your family luck. And I know I'll be seeing you because I go to Hobby Lobby shopping, and you're right around the corner. So we'll stay in touch. And I need to see Gavin's football game. District 17 has had 12 new residents since September. And I'm very excited about that. Our whole district is like flipped. And it's a lot of people to contact. So we have a new ambassador that will go out and welcome all of our new residents with a gift basket. So I'm very excited about that. And she's very excited about doing it, and she loves to talk. So she'll do really, really well. Comment I have is, and I don't know how we, Bob and Mary Jo, how we get the 0.2 CCL, but with the holidays coming, families coming in, visiting, and the restaurant possibly being closed on Saturdays is wrong. And we need them to be open, and we need them to be open from 4:30 to 8 o'clock. We also need, are you going to tell me you're doing it? Because one more.
I totally agree.
Okay.
And we have discussed it with them, and hopefully they will listen.
But I also want to include the lounge. We need that lounge open at 11 o'clock because some come in, in the afternoon. And I'm sorry, I like the lounge in the restaurant better than the sandwich if I have company. So
I totally concur.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Cal Martin for District 21. I want to thank Kathy. I want to thank Kathy McDonald. She's our EPAP coordinator alternate. She really stepped up. Her husband, Bruce, has been not feeling as well as he has in the past. She executed the drill with great excellence, found new zone captains for us. She's really been a great asset. District 21 had a great Halloween party. We had all kinds of people show up. We had 90-some people down there in the South Clubhouse, and they were all dressed to the teeth for Halloween. That's what happens when you give away prizes for good costumes. District 21 will have a Christmas party, a holiday party as advertised with District 22. That will be on the 20th of Christmas. Look for information in your November and December newsletters if you're within the districts. And I'm going to talk a little bit again about DDA stuff because I should have done this in my chair report, but I talked so much and I forgot. The DDA meetings in 2026, you will recall, will be moved to the day following the master board open session. This will eliminate some of the problems that we've heard discussed here with the unavailability of material at the printer, the gap in between being excessively long, the inability to get things out by the first of the month. We should have that all done. The only thing it may do is accelerate the need to have the message from the board and the CCL documents prepared for that weekend, because most of us will send newsletters to the printer on that Saturday or Sunday right after the open master board meeting and the DDA session. And the other thing is that I checked the club calendar the other day, and I find that we're having a DDA meeting on December. Well, we really don't meet in December, so you can scratch that off the club calendar. Our next meeting for the DDA will actually be, again, in January following the open board session. And that's all I have. So we will move to the next item on the agenda, and that would be old business. I don't have any recorded. Does anyone have any old business they would like to bring forward? And seeing none there, we will move to new business. This is a little bit unusual. I have drafted these motions, and according to Robert's parliamentary rules, I cannot be the chair and at the same time speak as a delegate. So I am told that if I do something different, like move to a different chair, somehow I become a delegate. So what I'm going to do is stand up and turn my chair around, because that way nobody else has to move, and you will know I'm no longer the chair, I'm now a delegate. If I had a hat, I'd just put it on backward. Yeah, okay. So everybody has been given these motions written out. I want everyone to understand completely what's in them and what they are voting for. The first motion that I'm bringing to the floor is a motion for the master board to suspend activities directed at replacing the management company. Recent major changes here at Sun Lakes have given the delegates of this assembly cause for concern. You probably noted that. Lacking the support of the Procurement Advisory Committee, the PAC, the board distributed a request for proposal to replace FSR as the community's provider of food and beverage services. The contract was signed without analysis from the very committee that was chartered for that explicit purpose. The board now deals with significant flaws in that contract, which heavily favors the vendor, who has not resolved any of the financial overruns that they were hired to correct. In fact, their financial performance is worse than our previous provider. Despite the contract problems incurred by acting in haste instead of thorough vetting, the board distributed another FRP aimed at replacing FSR as the community's management partner. The board is currently in the process of selecting a new management company despite not utilizing a sufficient RFP or a qualified response matrix, and relying solely on their own analysis to determine the best candidate. The board rejected a very attractive offer of contract proposal from our current management partner simply because it came from our current management partner. The board is acting without regard to the best practices of an HOA board of director, and that's to the detriment of the community they serve. Therefore, the motion before this assembly is we recommend in the strongest possible terms that the master board suspend any activities connected to replacing our management company until a standing procurement advisory committee, PAC, is reconstituted to advise on any contract in excess of $25,000. The PAC will act in accordance with the process as detailed in the manual posted to the HOA website. Should the board choose to proceed lacking this support, the board member recalls will be initiated. That's the motion before this assembly, and I need a second.
I second it.
Linda has a second. Now I have to turn my chair around. Yeah, I will, next time. Okay, now the floor is open for discussion. Would someone like to speak on this motion before vote is taken? Linda.
First, I want to just review how we came to have first service residential. And back then we had Associa. And Associa did not give us financials for almost 6 months. We were forced, I was on the master board at that time, we were forced to look for a new management company. This was not taken lightly
by us who were on the board at that time. We did send out RFPs. I believe we sent 8 to 10 RFPs out. We visited every one of those companies. We drove there if it was possible. Some we had to call on the phone. It took us over 6 months to decide on a management company. Not 30 days, not 60 days. We did our due diligence. We had the attorney look at the contracts that were, the RFPs that, the information that came back. We did not have a procurement committee at that time, but we based everything on what the attorney told us. It takes a lot of work to change management companies. It's not just flip the switch, here's a new management company. It took us months for new accounts, new decals, everything. Jumping so quickly as the master board is now is not in the best interest of the Sun Lakes community. And it is a bold move for this delegate association to do what we need to do, but it is necessary.
Here, here.
Anyone else? Marcia.
I'm going to go with Linda. As a former board member, making a decision this big is not something you do in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of vetting. The due diligence of the board, or what the board has got to do, is look out for the best interest of the entire community, not based off of a personality conflict or based off of I just don't like him. I have yet to hear why. No one has said why we need to change management companies. Working with FSR, anything, and this is, again, a couple of years ago, but I don't think they have changed. If we ask them for something, they absolutely go and make it happen. They work with the board one-on-one. It is not broken. So why are we trying to fix something that is not broken? I don't understand the whys behind this. So going through this as quickly as we have, or as quickly as the board has at this point in time, is not in the best interest of our community. So I agree 100%. It is a very big move on the board's part to recall, but if that's what we have to do, that's exactly what we will do. Thank you.
Gail.
Thank you. For the board, having sat on a board for 9 years, I know that things don't happen as quickly as they're happening right now. The community needs to be aware that there is a process that needs to be followed, and that is using our PAC to look at the proposals, to then go back and share that with the board on all of them, taking the time to really investigate, and then going through, selecting the top 3, looking at all of them, visiting, talking, making it really work through. You can't vet in 30 days for a new company. It doesn't work. So please, take heed to what's being said, and community, please help us to make sure that they're following to what's best for our community.
Cal.
Janice.
I moved to Sun Lakes 4 years ago, almost exactly 4 years ago. I read the CCNRs. And the way I understood it is the district delegates were the voice for the community. And then it went down to master board, and then what the master board needed for FSR, or at that time, any administration to do, was set in that path. Not once have I ever seen anything come from the master board, present or past, that said, hey, we want to hear more from our residents about what you want. That survey that went out, sorry, it was a joke. It didn't, sorry, it didn't ask the questions that really needed to be asked. Sorry. All right, so I have a different opinion, but that's okay. And what Bob said, only 4 people wrote in and made a comment about it. I think that speaks volumes, people, volumes.
Any other comment? B.
District 15, B. Mercado. There's feedback coming in.
Marcia, turn off your mic, please. It's all good.
So, okay, that's good. Thank you. Granted, Mary Jo, I'm sorry that you're the only one here to hear this. I was hoping that maybe, I'm hoping that others are watching from your board, and I'm hoping that they are being a little more careful with what decisions and the processes they're going through to come up with decisions regarding the impact your choices are having on our community. You do have a learning curve because a lot of the board that is on now has not finished a total year yet. And I think to make this kind of a drastic move needs more research, needs more consideration. Again, the issue is not FSR. If that were the case, it would have come up in the comments that Mr. Walter read before, and it would have been at a higher percentage. I hope you're listening to the correct people. I hope you're making up your mind through experiences that you have had with FSR since you have been on the board. I don't know if you've had issues or problems that they have not been able to resolve for you or with you. I would hope that you would take that into consideration. If you have heard a majority of comments from the community that are negative regarding how FSR conducts its business, how well they communicate with the board, or to resolve issues that the board has come up that they need addressed, I would hope that you would take that into consideration before deciding to get rid of them and bring in someone who you have to retrain and start over, especially when new elections are coming up in April, new candidates. And I'm sorry, but there is the special recall election that we are considering. It's not lightly taken. Many of us here are disencouraged with the leadership we are getting from the master board, especially its newest members. So I would hope that you would consider that. Thank you.
I guess I'm going to almost have to disagree with what everyone else said. I don't disagree with the board vetting new management companies. I think that there should be a process for doing that. But almost everybody in my district is unsatisfied with this FSR. That's all I ever hear them say. What about the debacle at the South Clubhouse pool that cost us upwards of $30,000 because they didn't know what they were doing? And the list goes on and on. The constant here has been FSR for the last several years. The board has changed over the last several years. So I don't think that it's just the board. And people in my district voted for the new board members because they wanted them to replace FSR. I don't think the golf course, they don't have vendors that they can get better pricing from to manage the golf course. I think I've heard before, I don't know if it's true, that we're the only golf course community that they manage. And if that's so, why would you have a company, would you have somebody managing your money if you were the only person that they managed money for? So I think that we do need to look at replacing FSR. I just think that the other company just needs to be vetted well.
Anita Lawrence, District 18. I would just like to remind the community that First Service only works at the direction of the board. They are the management company that keeps us legal, but they work at the direction of the board. And as B stated, we have 4 pretty brand new residents that are currently serving on our board. So they may not have a lot of the history that we all know about Sun Lakes. I agree with the proposal that is going forth today, the motion. And I would like to encourage the residents of Sun Lakes to please come out to the town hall to express your concerns or your support. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike.
There it is. I would just like to say, I've been on several boards or on condominium boards and things like that, much smaller than this. We have a budget here, what, $15 million a year? And I think continuity is one of the most important things we can have with a management company, okay? They're paid, the volunteer board is not. And I know they're governed by the board, but it's their advice that runs throughout with their experience and continuity of being here a length of time. Personally, I've seen Chris grow as a manager exponentially from when he first started. I don't know that he was quite qualified. I didn't feel that at the time. I think my gut feeling is he has. And I'm not in favor of quick changing a board. It's especially with a city our size. And I've seen it before. And once you lose that continuity, you have that feeling for several years that they really don't know what they're doing, because they got to get brought up on this CC&Rs, up to date on the type of community we are. I feel the same way about CCL. I think one of his big decisions, and the board's big decision, was getting professional people to take over our restaurants and stuff. And I think that was a big board and management decision that I was just sick about it took so long. And that's one of the reasons I had the feelings I did about Chris. So that's where I stand. And I think the community should look at it from a continuity standpoint, unless, I don't know how many management companies, property management companies out there are dealing with a city our size and with a budget our size. So I just want to say Chris is learning and has really progressed, and that's the part of having them. And so that's just my feeling, but I wanted that as pointed out as some advice. Thank you.
Thank you. Jess?
Yes. I'd like to share this feeling of mine that as a financial man, having a special election and replacing management company will cost our HOA money. So I urge everyone to think about it, wait for the open, what do you call that? Town hall meeting, and we can then make the decision, you know, on either of the two or both. Thank you.
Gene?
I'd like to remind the residents that our board of directors are the ones that make the decisions for our community. The management company implements those decisions. They do not make the decisions, but the decisions are by the board. So I think my experience with FSR has been excellent throughout the years that they have been here. I think it's a horrible decision to consider replacing FSR. I think it's the board that we have to really consider that where the problem lies.
Is there any other comment? If there's no other comment, I will call for a vote. The motion that you're voting on is that we recommend, in the strongest possible terms, that the master board suspend any activities connected to replacing our management company until a standing procurement advisory committee is reconstituted to advise on any contract in excess of $25,000. That's in their charter, by the way. The PAC will act in accordance with the processes as detailed in the manual posted to the HOA website. Should the board choose to proceed lacking this support, board member recalls will be initiated. All in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your hand. Okay, and we have all those opposed and 3 opposed. This motion passes. And that moves us to the second motion on the, I'm not going to get up and turn around my chair, that's kind of silly. This goes to the heart of how any board or any organization operates. And this is about, do we have a process that's repeatable? And a repeatable process is something that actually you can then build success upon. If you don't have a repeatable process, you're always going to be making the same mistakes. In 2024, this motion is for the Master Board to implement the Sun Lakes governance policies. In 2024, the Master Board engaged Sequoia Grove Consulting, a specialist working exclusively with homeowner associations, to develop the framework for a customized set of policies defining how the board would govern Sun Lakes Country Club. Many people were involved in the evolution of this policy manual, which is now posted to the community's website. The president of the previous board stated in open session that this change in board process was adopted. However, all evidence is to the contrary. In order for the board to improve its effectiveness, create a stable management model that will provide continuity, benefit all future boards, and to deliver the best long-term results for the community, the board should fully implement the governance policy model created last year. I will note that we have also paid for this policy, and it kind of languishes not being fully implemented. The motion before this assembly is, we recommend that the Master Board implement and begin governance of the Sun Lakes HOA under specific policies created to achieve optimal community results. I will note that these policies are not dictated by anyone from the outside. These policies are the work of the board themselves. They just really need to be written down so the next board knows what to do. So at this point in time, I will open. I need a second for this motion. Is there anyone that wants to offer a second? Carly has a second. The floor is now open for discussion. Does anyone have any comment? Linda.
After reading the governance model 3 times, actually, I had to read it, I found a lot of repetitive information, and also it puts a lot on the general manager to implement. So I don't know if it should be reviewed again. I don't want to spend another 20-something thousand dollars. But I'm just concerned about the repetitiveness and the burden on the GM.
Any other comment? Marcia.
I think it's also important to acknowledge the fact that this is just the governance itself, policy or program, is a guideline for not just this particular board, but for all future boards. And it can be adjusted, and there are some things in it that need to be adjusted based off of reading it, like the repetitiveness or things along those lines. But any new board member, the very first year you come in, you are like deer in a headlight. There's a lot going on. You don't really know exactly what you're looking at and how you're going. But if you have something in place that we adopt as a program, basically, for all future boards to follow, then we have the opportunity to not go through what we're going through right now. And so I think it's important that we put something together in place. Look at it. Can it be adjusted? Absolutely. But it needs to be implemented in order for it to be used effectively for this board and for future boards.
Jean?
This is kind of a comment and a question also, so I have my understanding that this governance program, policy, whatever we want to refer to, must be renewed every year by succeeding board members? No. That's a question. It's continuing forever?
So a governance policy that's adopted would in essence continue in perpetuity unless another board decided to update that policy. But it would be an official policy, and the idea behind it is that you're a new board member, it's in your packet, you get all your great stuff in there, and then this is the duties, this is the requirements of the board, this is the requirements of management, this is the requirements of committees, and so on and so forth. And so it is a policy that would continue on unless future boards change that. And they have the ability to do that, and the boards could do that in the future.
Thank you.
B.
Chris, I have another question. Since this policy seems not to have been adopted by the board, what is the process that we go through now to make sure the board will adopt this or decides to adopt it?
You can make your recommendations, but the board ultimately would have the decision whether to adopt it, modify it, and modify it in some way, but it ultimately the board would have to decide if they wanted to do it or not. The delegates can recommend that, but it's a policy for the board. The board would have to vote on that and abide by it.
Do they vote in executive session?
A policy would be under an executive session. It can be either open or executive.
Does it become public record at the next board meeting as far as minutes?
No,
executive
once
session?
a policy though is created, and if it was an executive and noticed in the reading of executive session actions, then it's a living document that then members could request a copy of, or like we've done in the past, the board has put it on the website as a policy. And so a good practice is putting in the policies on the website so all the members then can see what is a policy, like we do with our rules, regulations, CCRs, et cetera.
So it becomes public notice.
It can, because that's what management's is in agreement with, that's what the board's agreement with, and then it'd be an item that should be public.
Thank you.
Linda?
Chris, wasn't it already adopted by the board?
So it was adopted, and then the board, following board modified it, halted it, and at this time it is tabled. It's not in effect at this time. So the one that was done by the PAC, the packet that was just referenced, the 54 pages, is not currently in effect at this time.
Mike?
I was at the meeting in the South Clubhouse with the Sequoia Group a couple years ago when they initiated this. And as far as I knew, well, I just want to say something right now. I'm not sure anybody knows really what we're talking about with this, what do we call it? Governance policy for the board. So they brought in this group, and the board felt it was necessary to get, once again, continuity that would be with each board as it came in, as I understood it. And what they were basically talking about at that meeting they had in the South Clubhouse. I don't know who else remembers that, but they gave a very thorough rundown of what was involved. Everybody was in agreement. I don't know where it went from there. I thought it was approved, and we were going to continue with it. And so I'm a bit surprised that it came up now. Otherwise, it was a waste of money, and I don't know who approved that. But I don't want to give an opinion on whether I believe it or not. There's, you know, it's a pretty nice document and pretty thorough, and the lady or whoever it was said she would continue on to advise future boards at her $22,000 or $25,000 fee. Yeah, I guess it's a fee. So that's just what I wanted to put out there, and that's it.
I'm going to make a comment now. Oh, Jim, go ahead.
Jim Nickel, District 3. I can ask Chris, is the board running under the Sterling Davis or Robert's rules? What plan are they operating under now, please?
So they follow Davis Sterling. They are required to follow the governing documents that are laid in the CCR's bylaws, rules, regulations, but they also fall under the Davis Sterling Act of the Civil Code. They also follow under the Corporations Code as a corporation. So that is the model they follow. Oh, that's a great clarification. Thank you, Jason. So are you asking how they run a meeting, which is Robert's Rules is the process of how meetings, actions, or are you asking what laws that they follow?
No, what procedure they're using, because obviously this OPA is a separate procedure. We all know about Robert's Rules as we follow, and the Sterling Davis Act. So in all their negotiations, in their meetings or executive sessions, the steps they're using in comparison with the OPA, let's say. Thank you.
So the board follows a quasi-Robert Rule action for their meetings. So that is how they run their meetings, and that is allowed because the Civil Code doesn't say how a board meeting for an HOA should be run. They give the advice, they give options with Robert's Rules, but they don't dictate. Again, one of the key fundamentals is that the legislators in Sacramento do not want to step in the shoes of a board member because they feel that the board member is right in the action versus somebody who's miles away making law. So they are following a quasi-Robert's Rule, how they conduct their meeting, they follow the law on how they issue their agendas. The agendas are different for the board, you might notice, than what is done here. There's a requirement 4 days for an open, 2 days for an executive to be posted. So they have to follow certain requirements in the Civil Code, how they notice meetings, what they conduct in meetings versus what the delegates do. So, and they are not required to follow the full Robert's Rules of conducting a meeting. They can adopt some of those, but still have to follow Davis Sterling on what's in a board packet, what can be discussed in executive session, what is an open session matter.
So also the CCNRs and the bylaws, they're intertwined with what they're doing, correct?
They are, but
Using the fundamentals?
imagine there is a pyramid of I don't want to, it's not superiority, but authority. Thank you. Boy, we're going to have to play word games. So the governing documents are like at the base: rules, regulations, CCRs. Then it's your local, state, and federal, and that is kind of that's how it looks. So even though, and you may have noticed that in some cases our governing documents say one thing, but civil code will supersede that. We had a discussion about that for rentals, discussion about that for, there were some other things, so we've had to modify, but that's the hierarchy of what they must follow. So, but how they run a rule is kind of a meeting is kind of a quasi-Robert's rules. We can sit and discuss that in the restaurant sometime.
I'm going to make a comment as a delegate. If anyone is unclear about what governance policy is, everyone has a great example, and that's basically your government. The state of California does not run micromanagement. They run policy in the state of California through governance by policy. That's what your legislators do. In this case, it would be our board members. They decide what the outcome should be in the best interests of the people that they serve, and then they write a policy that they hope will achieve that outcome. They do not take over the job of doing what the local official, in this case would be our executive director, Chris Mitchell, or FSR, does to execute that policy. They do not specify exactly how they're going to reach it. They don't say, they might say we need this would be very general, and I'm not sure, we want a restaurant that actually doesn't exceed budget, that has good and tasty food, that is well attended. That's a good policy. Now, they don't have to say that you're going to get this by cooking the eggs this amount of time. You're only going to have this if, this meant we are open these hours. They don't have to deal with any of that because they've set the policy result. That's what governance is by policy. To have it stated any other way, when the guy pulls you over for going too fast on the freeway, he does not have to call Sacramento to get the nod on what he's supposed to do. He already knows because he's got a policy. It's been delivered to him by Sacramento. That's policy governance. And that's different than taking each individual thing and micromanaging it at the board level, which has been historically a problem of time consumption. Everybody that gets on the board is overwhelmed by the amount of time they have to put in because they are constantly dealing with the minutia of handling a community this size. When most of it needs to be delegated to the property authorities, let them do what they need to do, stand back and analyze the result. Part of governance also means that you have to put out there the metrics to decide whether the job that has been performed is a good job or a bad job. You spell that out in advance. You just don't sit in a room and go, well, I like it, I don't like it, it didn't work out good. No, there has to be a way to judge performance. We've had this issue come up previously when talking about replacing the management company. If there's not a matrix to judge performance, you are flying blind. And this is what governance gives us. It gives us the ability to say what we want to do, to give the authority to someone else to do it, and then the ability to follow up with that and have accountability in a standard that's already been defined, that the person who holds the responsibility knows what it is, and then as the overarching one who writes the policy and governs the community, they can decide whether the policy works, and if it doesn't work, change it so it does work. That's managing by governance. Is there anyone who has future comment? Are there any other comment? Okay, we will call for a vote, and I will read the motion one more time. Glasses included, so everybody knows exactly what we're voting on. The motion before this assembly is that we recommend that the master board implement and begin governance of the Sun Lakes HOA under specific policies created to achieve optimal community results. All in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your hand. And those opposed? Okay, 3 against, the balance in favor, and this motion passes as well. We will now open the meeting up to member comments. I think Denny's got something to say. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. You will be timed. Please make your comments relevant to the business that the Delegate Assembly can affect, and we welcome to hear from you. Denny, the microphone's yours.
Thank you very much. Denny Rugenstein, at your pleasure. I'm speaking as a delegate or alternate delegate, and for 13 and a half of the 17 years that I've lived here. I welcome this opportunity because Charlie gave me a tremendous open. Charlie wanted to know about a vote that was in executive session. Okay. Change has occurred in those 17 years. One of the things that's changed is case law. Now, when we say that the state law in Davis Sterling that relates to executive sessions and so on, such as it has changed since it was passed. It's more than that now because of case law. And in every single incident that I've been able, and it's expensive to find out what case law is, it's been an abrogation or a loss of authority in the favor of the board. Okay, so I've spoken about change. I could give you examples, but that would take much more than 3 minutes. I have to use my time very carefully. One, because I'm not so healthy as I was 17 years ago. I'm a delegate alternate now only because I don't have the energy to be a delegate or a more vociferous voice. But I hope that those who are here and feel a bit younger and more sprightly than I will, this is my hope, continue as I would do. Okay, and that's emphasize a problem-solving solution that I learned a long time ago. Every board that I've ever been on, every administrative capacity I've ever had, has been successful in one way, and that's this. You define a problem in one sentence, and everybody agrees to what that problem is. Then, and only then, after you know what the problem is and everybody agrees what the problem is, then you find a solution. I don't think we know what the problem is. I could tell you a symptom of a problem, but defining the problem takes longer, oftentimes, than finding a solution. Now, maybe the problem is a lack of openness and a lack of responsiveness. Maybe that's the problem. I've felt that way for some time. Now I'm not so sure that that's how you define the problem. But if you don't define the problem, you don't stand a ghost of a chance of solving that problem. You've got to define it, and you've got to agree on what that problem is. Are my 3 minutes up yet?
Nope.
Well, then I can take 30 seconds to compliment our retiring executive. Thank you very much for your service. And I was able to wheel that in as well.
Thank you, Denny. Mr. Robbins. I might note that Mr. Robbins was part of the board that originally brought governance policy before the board.
That's one of the reasons I got up here, but I got a couple things. I said I was going to slow down, told myself I was going to slow down, but you can see that isn't working. So anyway, Jason and I have talked personally, and again, just remember who the Raiders play tonight. I also want to tell all the delegates, thank you for what you do in this community. Not only in this assembly, where you're covering very hot topic items, but everything you do with the social committees and the donations and all that. It's very appreciative. Having been a delegate, having been a board member, I appreciate seeing what you guys are doing. Which now brings us back to the governance policy that I'd like to mention just very quickly. Pretty much the way Cal explained it is what I was coming up to say. Management versus governance is a very important thing to understand. The board governs. The board comes up with the ideas, comes up with the policies, the policies. They turn it over to management. Management then determines how to get it done. It's not the board that says, as Cal said, I don't remember the exact example, but it's not that the board says, this is what we want you to do and this is how we want you to do it. I'll be honest, in my 3 years on the board, the first few months I struggled with that a little bit. I got into the weeds a little. I talked to Chris and Jason, we worked that out. It worked out just fine. But I've also seen, I'll say Chris specifically, I've seen Chris have to explain that this is not our job to do, it's his job to do. And you need to let him decide how to do it. That's what that's what management over governance, under governance is. And I think it's a very, very important thing. We agreed, and I believe it was October of 2024, we approved it, but then we decided to wait on implementation till January 2025. As most of you know, I ended up having to leave the board at the end of December. So I'm not privy to what went on. But what started it for me, and I've told this story numerous times, and I'll say it again, is when I first got on the board, there was something specific that I asked. I said, where's the policy on that? I don't see the policy on that. And I was told, no offense to anybody in the room, I was told, oh, it's in the minutes from like 12 years ago. That was how our policies were being handled at that time. And since then it was corrected. We worked on it. Then we tried to take it to the next level by bringing Sequoia in. And Sequoia came in, gave us some amazing advice at a very reasonable price. Yes, we paid for it. I think it was Mike that said it. Very reasonable price. And it is not an annual renewal, which I heard come up at one point. There's no annual renewal of it. It's done. If we need to rework the next level of it, then yes. If we needed her to help us with the actual implementation, then there would be some costs. But my opinion is, with the policies there, it is a living document. They're going to change, they're going to add, they're going to subtract. So I also want to implore, again, thank you guys for the action you've taken today, and implore the board to work on getting the governance policy implemented. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. It's actually great to see you looking good. Michelle.
Michelle Walter, alternate for 18. The only thing I really want to say is I would like to ask why some of the master board members want to replace First Service. What are the reasons? Nobody has come out and told us, why do you want to replace them? Are they not doing their job? Are they not doing what you tell them to do? So I think we need to be very careful and make sure that, our master board is doing their job and that we keep First Service. I'm sorry, I think we need to keep First Service. And Jason, I am going to still miss you.
Thank you, Michelle. Are there any other comments from the membership? If there are no more comments from the membership, I suggest we adjourn. Thank you, everyone, for coming.